another Monday. It's funny is usually Mondays always seemed, I don't know what, more stressful, more hectic, more chaotic than most other days. Why? Heck, I don't know. Maybe it's because we're coming off of a weekend and bam, it's back to work. So, how was your Monday? Was it good? Huh? Mine was pretty mellow. Well, I mean, more mellow than usual. Kind of at that in between place. One project is done, deadlines for the next project are a little bit off in the distance. I mean, they're not like way out there, but they're not so close. You're like, oh my god, I gotta get it done. So you're doing okay. So it wasn't, it wasn't like one of those crazy Mondays, and I hope yours is or was going well for you. Maybe it's over and you're like, I don't even want to talk about it, Tracy. I mean, why is it Mondays are so stressful? Really? Why do we go in going, oh God, Monday, is it you hate your job? Or who knows what it is? I mean, maybe it's glad that most of us, most of the folks that will be listening to me, have a weekend to decompress. And maybe that's one of the things. Maybe it's because we do nothing on the weekend. Do you do nothing on the weekend? And then all of a sudden Monday comes along and it's like, I gotta get back. Your body just gotta shift gears and goes all kind of crazy. I'm not sure. And I bring this up because maybe if you keep doing a little bit, even on the weekend, and I've tried this, and it seems to work. Mondays aren't so crazy. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't take time off. Seriously, I mean, because you need your relax time, and I've had a number of shows where I've given that as a tip. You've got to have that downtime. But if you have dreams that you want to accomplish, and if you're the person listening to me, and you're listening, right? Hello, hello. Yeah, okay. If you're listening to me, I believe you have dreams that you want to accomplish. You do want to accomplish it, right? Of course you do. Well, that's what I thought. I mean, yeah. Well, then, if you have dreams you want to accomplish, then you need to do something towards those dreams every single day, right? Even on the weekends. So if you're doing something every single day, well, then maybe Mondays won't be so bad. That's, I don't know, just a thought. So, okay, I just kind of just jumped right in there, And here's the cool thing, if you're doing something every single day, you're feeling a little bit more happy. Well, that was good speeching, right? It's good English. You're feeling happier, a little bit more in control. You're feeling much better about things, right? So, like I said, I just kind of jumped in. I mean, you turned on, you pushed the play button, and all of a sudden, I just started talking. Come on, it's it's your success DNA. It's yoursuccessatlast.com, and we will get those positive building blocks, that boost that you need every single day to build the life that you dream, desire, and deserve. Right? That's what you're here for. I mean, there's going to be a little motivation, little surprises. We're going to sprinkle in a little inspiration. But I was thinking about this. One of the things I really want where I want these shows to make the difference is I really want to come at you um, where I guess in the military they say where the metal meets the meat. Most people recognize the phrase where the rubber hits the road. Where those potholes, right, kind of throw you out of alignment. The blockades, sound effects are very important, by the way, kind of halt you altogether. Then, someone like me comes along and gives you a few ideas, some tips, and some strategies, kind of help you. Like I said, sound effects are very important. Blow through all those blockades, navigate around the potholes, and around everything that's kind of going to get in your way, right? I mean, let's be honest. It could be negative, or if you could negate is probably the word I'm looking for. If you could avoid and blast through everything that's been stopping you along your path to success, wouldn't you feel better? Feel more content? A little smile on your face? Yeah, I avoided it. Of course you would, right? Along with feeling more powerful, more empowered, more motivated. Yeah, right? That's what we try to do here Monday through Friday. And then with the Success 360, I try to give you some other tips. That is every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah, Tracy, I know what days of the week they are. Oh, me, that's right. I'm Tracy Ace Brinkman, the CIO, the Chief Inspiration Officer, and the ace up your sleeve here at yoursuccessatlast.com. And guess what? I'm really glad you're here today. I'm not just saying that. I'm not just Mr. Salesman, right? No, I'm really glad you're here today. Why? Well, normally these shows only come to you, everybody, on Mondays, but this week I want to give it to everybody Tuesday through Friday, where my premium members only get it, because I want you as a new listener to hear how awesome your life could be by listening and using some of the ideas that you'll get here. Yep, I want to slather on a little awesome sauce over your bowl of life. So listen all week, and I'll even tell you how to get next week for free as well. But we'll talk about that later. So on Mondays, we start with the question, how do you feel? And follow that up with, how do you want to feel? This is a very couple of important questions to ask, especially on a Monday where everyone's like, oh God, it's Monday. How do you feel? I feel awful. I feel good. I feel great. I feel awesome. I was feeling pretty sucky until you started talking, Tracy. Now I'm feeling a little bit better. I don't know what it is. How do you feel? And then how do you want to feel? I want you to think about these because as you go through your week and you're thinking to yourself, I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel happy. I want to feel empowered. Whatever the answer is, thinking about that will help you guide along and take the actions and do the things that will help you get there. So many people go through life not even thinking about it. Okay? So one of the things you want to talk about is going to help empower you is your values. And we talked about this, probably about the beginning of the year. I want to talk to you about how to reach your desired level of success. Ooh, I'm not going to go back and edit that. You're just going to have to deal with my tongue tripping over my eye teeth so I can't see what I'm saying. So, like I was saying, I want to talk to you about how to reach your desired level of success through your core personal values. Well, all right. Well, let's start with the obvious. What are values, right? Well, you can describe it in, half a dozen different ways. Half a dozen different ways. Good gosh, Tracy, what's going on? Well, let's break it down. It's really your personal belief system. It's all the things that you kind of believe that are most important in the way you live, you work, you play, and the way you treat those around you in your world, whether you like them or don't like them. It's how you walk and talk and believe every single day. It's how you live your world, right? These values they become the filter that you kind of run everything through, no matter what the source is, whether it's TV, conversations, magazine, radio, internet, the crazy Tracy guy talking to you. You're filtering it all through your values, your value-based personal belief system, right? That's what you know. So that's what you're going to put it through. So the next question becomes, where did you get those values? Well, you got them through your life experience, of course. Yeah, that's where they come from. And those experiences happened to you. Right? You lived the experience. Maybe something dramatic happened, or just as you're going through life, you started forming values, and they eventually you formed the experiences, and they formed the values. And if you go back even earlier, some of your original values were installed into you by parents, grandparents, guardians, the school system, and media. Right? Don't think that repeatedly hearing those talking heads coming at you day in and day out, or music that you listen to day in and day out, doesn't have an impact on your values. And let's be honest, some of those talking heads are focused on altering your values. So that's why you, ladies and gentlemen, you need to know who you are. So when you read and you watch and you listen to anything online or offline, you're going to be all right. Sorry about that. Had a little glitch there. I had to pause. So anyway, as I was saying, no matter what you're watching or reading, you're going to run this through your personal filter. And you can, your personal filter can say, yep, I agree, or no way, you must be crazy. I don't believe you. I don't trust you. I'm not going to follow you like some sheep to the slaughter. So you gotta think about these things. Now, when you know your values, which is what I keep saying, where'd you get your values? What are they? But when you know your values, you basically know who you are, right? Now I personally have been told on a few occasions that, oh gosh, Tracy, you know yourself pretty good. Well, yeah, I like the compliment, but I don't think I know myself as well as I want to, and I do take the time to look time and time again. So maybe it's all relative, right? I maybe know more about myself than some people do, the average Joe, right? Because I live this world, right? I study this personal development stuff all the time. Some don't. So having done it time and time again, you're right. Maybe I do know myself pretty well, and I strive to walk and talk my values. You see, when you know yourself, people that know you well are gonna see how you're gonna respond, because they're say, oh, well, I know Tracy believes in this and believes in that and believes in that, and he walks his talk, and so when I think this about him, that's how he's gonna respond. Hey, when Bob when you talk to Bob about this, this is what he believes in it. So if I ask him that, this is how you're going to respond. They're going to know how you're going to react. They're going to see you walk and talk with integrity, right? And it's not just saying it. You can't just, hey, I have integrity. It's got something you got to do. You have to be. It's something you have to live. I mean, because we all know those people that say, yeah, I have integrity. You're like, yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, you don't want to be one of those people, right? So when you know your values, you'll use your values. You'll have that integrity, no matter what they are, whether they're family values, work values, health-based, spiritual, even money, fiscal values. Whatever it is for you, when you know and believe in your values, every single decision you're going to make in your life, it's going to be guided by those values. And those values are going to make that guidance in making those decisions a lot easier to make and then stand behind. Now, let's be honest. I didn't say you weren't going to stir up waters every once in a while, because that's, not everyone's values are the same. No, really, they're not. I'm sorry. It's just the way the world works. You're gonna bump heads, right? And you're gonna come up against someone, and your values are gonna be a little bit different. You're gonna make a decision to honor your values, and it's not gonna honor theirs as much as they would like, and you're gonna bump heads. But here's the thing. The cool thing about believing in your values and standing for your values and knowing who you are is it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to be powerfully liberating to walk and talk in your integrity with your values and be who you are inside. And that will help you get over that uncomfortable feeling almost pretty fast, because you'll be thinking to yourself, well, that wasn't much fun, but it's who I am. I like Popeye. All right, that was a lousy Popeye imitation, but let's move on. Now, there's 4 things. I'm running over. I'm sorry, but this is what you get, right? I try to do it in 12. I'm at 12 right now. I got a couple of things I want to share with you, because there's 4 things you have to know to use your values effectively. 1, what are values? Duh, right? Oh, that was an easy one. Thank you, Captain Obvious. But you need to sit down and figure out what your values are. Bust out a pen and paper, crack open a notebook, use your laptop, whatever it is, and say, this is what I believe in, this is what I stand for. You can cheat. Yeah, you can go out, because you're going to draw a blank, right? You can go out and get a list, a Google list of values. There's a number of them out there, 300 or 400 lines long, sometimes 1 word, sometimes 2 words, but they're not the end-all be-all. You can use those to start off. You can get one with my 365 system that's in the premium membership. We'll talk about that later, no big deal. But they're out there. Sit down with them and figure out which ones resonate with you. Now, the next thing you got to know about it is, are you living them every single day? Did you put down exercise as a value, right? Yet you haven't walked, you haven't ran, heck, you haven't even picked up a weight heavier than a beverage in the last month. Have you? Okay, so maybe exercise isn't really one of your values. See, for me, example, one of my values is a work ethic. I like to believe I have a strong value in work ethic. I get up early, and I'm usually working before others are even awake. I'm cranking away by the time they get to their desks. Not bragging, but generally I have more done by the time they get to their desks than they'll get done by lunch, maybe even later. It's just one of my values. It's how I grew up. It's intrinsic of who I am. I value that work ethic, and with that, I've also come to value a work-life balance. So when I leave at the end of the day, when I stop working, I don't feel guilty about it, because I came in early, I cranked away, I busted it all out. Now I get to go spend time with my friends and loved ones, right? Not fretting about work. I work when I work, and I play when I play. Which ones do you live? Yeah. So the next one, number 3, is, do you ignore them? Are you looking at that list and say, oh, yeah, I do value that, but yet you ignore it? And trust me, if you're feeling stressed when it comes to that, yeah, perhaps you're not looking honestly at your list, yeah? And you could look at a word and say, yeah, I value that, but you're feeling that twang inside. It's because you're not honoring it. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, gosh, I know I always get irritable when X happens, and whenever X is that value, right? You can't ignore them. It's going to cause stress and frustration in your world. You've got to honor them, okay? And then I think the other big thing is, are your values congruent? I used to joke around. There's an example of, do you value surfing? I was a big surfer back in the day, way back when I was a kid, right? Value surfing. right? Those kids that get up in the morning and they're down there busting out a few waves before they go to school, right? Do you value surfing, but you don't want to live in the city? Now, being from Southern California, rather challenging. Maybe not impossible, but rather challenging. All right. Okay, so it's not a great example, but you get the gist of that. Here's another one I can throw at you. All my American friends can relate to this. You value honesty, yet you cheat on your taxes. Yeah, yeah. I was sitting in a seminar one time and I heard the speaker say, if half the people in here it was one of those business seminars, half the people in here spend not as much creative energy creating more revenue as they do creating creative ways to get out of their taxes, they'd be a lot richer. I'm just saying. So you get the balance there. So and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people are dishonest on the norm. I believe overall people are basically good and honest. I can't imagine how bad this world would be if people were as bad as some people tend to believe they are. I heard another funny story one time that there was really only 8 evil, bad people in the world. So the next time you meet one as one of those grumpy, bad people, you can say, hey, only 7 more to go. Problem is, they keep moving around, and you might bump into them once or twice or 3 times. Right? Again, of course, I'm kidding around, but I think overall people are inherently good. Otherwise, society would kind of come crashing down around our ears. Think about the movie Purge. There you go. Think about it right there. And one last one I want to toss in here, a little bonus tip for you, is your values need to be open to be updated. Things are going to happen. Heck, you're going to be going through life, and like I said, your values come through experiences. As you're going through life, you're going to get new experiences. Some of those experiences are going to be long and drawn out. Others are going to happen just like that. Because trust me, let me tell you what, when my 16-month-old daughter Krista died in my arms, do you think my values about my children changed? And I had another child at the time. Right? She was older. Do you think they changed at that instant? You better gosh darn guarantee it did. You bet so. So, walk your talk. I want you to walk your talk, but as you're walking your talk, you're going to see new road signs that can change your views, that can alter your values about parts of your life. So try them on. See if they fit. How do they feel? Do they provide a smoother ride along your path to success? That's called experience. And what forms your values? That's right, experience. So build and be open to updating your values. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a key part of personal growth and personal development. Now, one last thing. I know I keep saying that. One last thing before we go. Your values are your now values. I want you, if you're writing these down, you're going through the exercise I talked about. Don't try and go creating a list of this is what I want to be. I know I need to be frugal. I need to be a loving dad. I need to be this and that. No. Because you're going to revert. The next day, tomorrow, you're going to revert to who you are. And it's going to build that frustration inside you. You need to acknowledge and be honest with your now values. Those are the ones that you're living every day right now. Now, if you want to change, you can look at transitional values that will take you from where you are, which you have to acknowledge, right? Okay, to where you want to be. But you got to start with your now values, not your tomorrow values. So acknowledging and living your now values is walking your talk. Right? Moving through your transitional values is walking your talk to get you where you want to go with integrity. And doing this helps you avoid that frustration I just mentioned of trying to live your tomorrow values now. It's just Anyway, so that was your last thing. Oh, one more thing. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. So, values. Know them. Live them. You're gonna. So you might as well know them. So anyway, let's wrap up. Tomorrow we're going to talk about red ocean, blue ocean. Which one do you want to be swimming in, right? I don't think I brought this one up for. It's from a really good book I read. Oh gosh, it's from 2005. I'm going to give you this little ace spin on it. Wednesday we're going to talk about bad hair days. Okay, so it's a metaphor. I get it. We all have them, but are we making big hairy deals out of them? Yeah. All right, on Thursday, the Peter Principle. All right, if you have kids with you, no, it's nothing dirty. Trust me. We're going to talk about how you can bust through your Peter Principles, an old management philosophy. I'm going to give you a personal development spin on it. And on Friday, we're going to talk about making money. I know. This is a personal development show. This is for self-help, but trust me, you're going to want to listen to this show. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is coming at you free all week, so I'm not going to give you kind of pitch about going to the website, getting the free download of the 7 critical steps to success. Do that if you want to at yoursuccessatLast.com. In the meantime, I want you to come back tomorrow, listen to the rest of the shows, and until then, I'm going to leave you like I always do. Think successfully. Take action. Bye-bye.